Сука, бля!
Hello
Run.
kids, welcome back to another Nerf video. So currently right now in phase 2 I can't play Pokemon Tretta or play them, so I'm just gonna make some videos at home. So let me ask you a question. Do you want to have a pistol at the same time is a sniper? Well, that's really close, I should say, because if you want to have a sniper, right, you need to have something that's very long barrel, because you need to have heavy spring loads and longer the barrel, correct? So if you have a very long barrel and a very huge plunger tube, you're probably gonna have something like a Caliban or a long shot, and it's gonna be very heavy when you have heavy spring loads with metal internals. So today you're in luck. I have here myself a so-called a sniper pistol. So it's kind of like a secondary that I use. No, I don't use it as a primary, but I just use it as a secondary along with my prophecy itself. So let me just go grab it and
Oh my god!
this is my knockout. Welcome to Nerf Review. Okay guys, so this is my knockout here. Actually there is two configurations. So there is the one that is much more like a sniper feel, has extended metal barrel, and there's the one that is this thing here. See this here? This is duct tape, okay? Don't underestimate this. This is a duct tape, but it gives good performance, quite good performance. So this allows me to fast reload and just you can just front load it. It's much more faster than this, where you have to open the breech, drop the dart in, close the breech, prime the blaster, and just fire. But while this, you can just front load it and it takes full lengths. This you can, but you can front load it, which kind of damage your blaster, but never mind, I got the AR still inside. But if you want to put in the full length, it's really hard. So yeah, front load with this is still the best choice. So I'm gonna review in this configuration first, and I'm gonna tell you more about this. So let me just put this thing away. So this is my knockout. Okay, if you guys don't know what is a knockout, basically it's a Nerf rival blaster that basically kind of looks like a Glock. Basically it has massive plunger tube. So I'm gonna tell you guys how it works, and also a bit of firing demonstrations, and yeah, what are the mods onto this. But before that, let me just tell you more about this blaster. This blaster is probably has the most heaviest spring inside out of all rival blasters and all other blasters. Probably not the most strongest spring, but I shall say that Ultra has much more heavier spring loads because they hit harder. But I don't know, but this thing has really good spring. So people say that this thing is, you know, have the strongest spring inside. So yeah, it's quite true actually. So let me just tell you about this blaster, starting up with the grip. So this is kind of like a knockout review, but yeah. So the grip is really big. Why the grip is really big? Because inside the plunger tube is like my prophecy plunger tube.
Yeah, boy.
It's like my prophecy expanded plunger tube built into this pistol grip. So therefore you can have therefore you can have the massive hand grip, because inside it houses kind of like a retaliator expanded plunger tube inside. It's really good. The plunger tube is really big. So yeah, cause you know, sniper pistol, you need to have larger plunger volume, more air volume, therefore you can have more velocity, and therefore you become a sniper. So the prime weight is much more heavier than all the other blasters here. So prime weight to me is easy, but to a kid probably no. So yeah. So the trigger pull is okay. There's also a safety here. When you push back, it's safety. Can't pull the trigger. But when you push forward, you can pull the trigger. So yeah. Also right here, I'm gonna show you guys the kind of like the mods that I do to it also. So as you can see here, I also put some black tape here to prevent people from stealing my blaster. So yeah, if you're trying to steal this, no, go away. So yeah, and also it tells that this is mine, because I don't want to mix up with anybody knockout or you know. So this is basically, as you can see here, this orange piece here is actually the barrel. So let me just show you guys. So I did some mods to it. So this is not stock configuration. If you guys don't know what is a stock configuration, it's basically no mods and anything, and the velocity is basically very low. So what I have here is this lever here. You push it down, and therefore the bridge is open. As you can see, the bridge opens larger. So let me just show you one more time. I push down the lid, the lever. As you can see, the bridge opens larger. What do I mean by that? In a stock configuration, it opens like that. So it's more suitable for rival rounds. Because if you want to shoot Stephens out of it, or much more like a full length dart, if you can fit, you need to have the bridge open larger. So that's what I did. So what I did is basically I opened this blaster, and then I just grabbed a long nose plier and just did some mods to the shell and also the barrel to make sure that it open larger. I don't have a tutorial video, but I can try to make one if I have another one. So yeah, I only have this, so yeah. So as you can see, it opens larger now, so I can fit a Stephen. Okay, if you guys don't know what is Stephens, I have here this is a short dart. Okay, if you guys don't know what a short dart is, a hobby grade dart that a lot of people use in the hobby, and yeah, it shoots much more further and accurate. So as you can see, I have the dart in. Okay, it's not in properly.
Bruh.
Time the blaster, and I'm gonna load in the dart. So the dart is currently inside the barrel now, so I'm gonna fire this. Wow, it's powerful. So let me just tell you guys some stuff inside. So as you can see, I still have the air restrictor inside. Why? Because as I said, I have another configuration. So if I'm using that configuration, I definitely need to put back. I definitely need the AR back, so I can, because I'm afraid that I may spoil the blaster. So I don't want anything to, like my blaster spoil or anything. So you have to keep aware of that. So yeah. So I currently have the AR inside. If you guys don't know what is an AR is an air restrictor. Air restrictor basically, let's say when you dry fire this blaster, eventually the plunger head slams, and slams the plunger tube, and eventually may break certain parts of the blaster. So let's say if you dry fire this, because this has the AR, basically it won't destroy anything, because the AR will basically kind of like absorb the impact, and also to slow down the plunger tube, and also to so yeah. So now I'm going to talk about the mods also. So another mod is that I put in a much more longer barrel and a much more tighter barrel. So as you can see here, I can literally just twist this barrel out. So this is a Nexus Pro barrel. It's a kind of like a loose fit barrel, because if let's say you drop a dart,
Bruh,
you can just drop out. So yeah, basically you need, if you want to have much more better performance, you need to have much more tighter barrel. So you to prevent the air leaks, from the dart lah. So but overall I have good performance. So yeah, you can take not just these AF Pro darts, you can take Worker Gen 3's ACC V2, ACC V3. So yeah, as you can see, I also put electrical tape around it to center the barrel and at the same time give a good air seal. So very important to take note also. So as you can see here, I put this orange thing here. It's kind of like a muzzle piece. But why do I put that? Number one, basically, if let's say I'm using this in a public park, if this metal barrel sticking out of this blaster, some people may mistake it as a firearm, or kind of like a water ball blaster, or a gel, or an airsoft gun. These two is kind of illegal in Singapore, so I don't want the authorities to come against me and confiscate my blaster because it has this metal barrel.
FBI, open up!
Actually, no
Bruh.
at all. But to just make sure that nobody says that this is like a firearm or what, so I just put this orange kind of thing here to just tell the public that this is a toy. Okay, this is not whatever it is. So yeah, actually it's probably not a toy because this thing hits harder than normal Nerf blasters. So yeah, also there is, I guess that's it. Yeah, so yeah, that's basically it for this configuration. I'm not so sure what's the velocity, but it could hit 50 feet. It can hit 50 feet because I kind of like do a firing demonstration. I'm gonna do a firing demonstration in like 50 feet with the Nexus Pro products or the AF Pros, and then I'll just show you guys the range. So I fired this quite 1,000 times and it hits 50 foot a lot, including with the air restrictor. This is probably one. This blaster is probably has the strongest thing and a large plunger tube. Also, if let's say I remove the AR, one quick note is I improved the seal with the barrel so I can close the barrel inside the plunger tube, so I can have a very good air seal. Once I have a very good air seal, this thing can hit up to 150 FPS. Or
Yeah, boy.
let's say if you have trash air seal, probably 130. But to me, this is more like a like a secondary, so I don't really need to have a lot of power. As long as it hits around 100 and decent range, is okay. So yeah. So now I'm gonna show you guys another configuration. So this is a duct tape.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I will just push down this orange thing, then I twist the barrel out, slide it out. Very fast and simple. If let's say I'm a wall that don't allow high velocity, cause when I stick this metal barrel in, it's kinda hitting good velocities. So take this thing and I just shove it in the muzzle here. Yeah, there it is. Ooh. As you can see, I shove it in the muzzle and yeah. So this allows me to take both full lengths and half length darts. So I'm not so sure about the velocity rules, but yeah, it's quite good as I don't need to kind of like loading the dart at the back. Cause I mean the breech, you don't need to open the breech, drop in the dart. Make sure you also need to put the dart inside the barrel. Cause if you just drop in the dart, then it won't kind of like enter the barrel and eventually feeding problems. But for this, you can literally just shove in the dart at the front. So what I'm gonna show you guys to do. So I got one of my standard Nexus Pro products or the AF Pros, and I just shove it in here. I'm not so sure what's the velocity, but this thing could hit 50 foot, so 50 foot shot, so yeah. But mostly this thing, the velocity, I don't really care because it's still a secondary, and yeah, so I can just shoot it. Flies a bit much more slower and worse accuracy compared to this. This one has better accuracy because of the much more tighter barrel and much more stable barrel. Because this thing, I put electrical tape so I can center the barrel easily. And I'm gonna show you guys cross compatibility with full length darts. This is some random white color China darts. I don't really use this in games, but I have other darts option like Avenger Force waffle darts, worker full lengths. Yeah, so prime this thing. It shoots well also. So now I think so that's probably it for this, cause there's nothing much about it. It's just probably my kind of configuration. So if let's say if I'm in a war that basically I want to be much more faster, I can use the duct tape, quite hard to take out, which is this. But if I want to play much more defensive and much more try hard in accuracy and range, I can slap on this metal barrel, make sure that this thing touches the AR so that I won't have worse velocity and range. And there you go, I can drop in the dart here, close it, prime it, and start shooting. Accuracy is much more better, of course, has the metal barrel inside. So yeah. Also, for velocities, I'm not so sure. I will try to crony it, and yeah, but I will try to update guys in another video about the velocity. Yeah, so basically the range is good, everything is mostly good. It's much more like kind of like a primary actually. So yeah, because for these two mods, it really makes this blaster, a tiny pistol, more like a primary instead of a secondary, cause sniper pistols more cursed, I should say. So for SU, this thing has 0% SU, same as this.
Bruh.
Because of the AR, so yeah, that's the thing. So other than that, I'll show you guys the firing demonstration.
Bruh. Okay. Yeah, boy. Bruh.
생존마라 개 씨발 피드스틱 엄마 없어 이 개새끼야!
Just gonna talk about the blaster again. For conclusion, should you do this mod? Well, if let's say if you're much more like a faster guy and a stock cast guy that want to use full length darts, I recommend this. Basically what you need to do is you just kind of like take a dart and then just wrap the tape around and then just wrap more tape to have better AC with the dart and tighter fitting with the dart. So yeah, and then until it fits with the barrel. But if you're much more like a competitive guy and don't want to like basically carry your stock class secondary and you want something that hits harder, well, the metal barrel mod should be great for you. If you want to have better seal, remove AR and then just electrical tape the barrel, make sure it fits inside the plunger tube, and therefore you have better seal. It can hit up to 160 FPS, which is epic with just a stock spring, because Nerf stock spring sucks. It's about like 2 kilos, which doesn't even give good velocity. So yeah, but overall FPS doesn't really matter. It's all about the accuracy. Well, this thing gives quite good accuracy. So yeah, so I guess that's it. Yeah, if you guys want to buy the knockout, link in the description below. Also, another reason why I don't want to remove the AR is because I can use rival rounds. Wow! So I can just remove this.
my god! Wow!
And I grab a random rival round that I have. So this is some random rival round here. I can just shove it in here, close the breech. Yeah, so absolutely great. So yeah, but mostly I'll just leave it in this configuration, as you know, I want to play much more hybrid and I want to have a secondary that hits hard. So yeah, cause my other secondary, which is the Fire Strike, doesn't really hit hard. So something that hits hard, gives good range, should be great. So yeah, so I guess that's the end for today's video, and yeah, I'll see you guys probably after phase 2.
Fireflies, a million little pieces.